look like it's gonna let me go live, and guess what? It did. So amazing. I'm here a little bit early just because I wrote that message because I couldn't get in, and then voila, here I am. So if you don't mind, I'm going to clean the table a little bit, and then we'll begin. Okay, that way we'll give everybody a chance to come in. So I can see that you're here. So why don't you let me know where you're watching from? If you'll put it in the comments section, that'll be fun. And I'm going to clean up the table some while we get ready. This is some exciting stuff with the eclipse coming, the second one of the year already. And wow, just wow. This one's going to be in Scorpio. It's going to be so empowering. That's the word we're going to use. We're going to use empowering. Yeah. Okay, so hey, tell me where you're from, where you're watching this at. And I'll be getting the show on the road here in just a minute. I didn't think that this stream was going to allow me to check in, but it did. So sorry for that message that says, hey, you know, sorry, it's not working. But it's Mercury, so there you go. What did we expect? This is lit, but not much smoke. Okay, there we go. Starting to smoke now. Okay, we'll give it, like I said, just a few more minutes, and then I'll begin, and I'm going to talk about the eclipse and how it's going to affect us all, and then break it down by sign. So the signs that are going to be affected the most, of course, are Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. But you didn't see that coming, right? So it was going to be an interesting time. And the thing is, the eclipse energy lasts for 6 months. So of course, it's the most powerful right at the beginning of the eclipse when it's actually happening. But then this energy, like I say, can last for a full 6 months. So we can have lessons for a while. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. Hopefully I won't be burning the house down. No promises. That'll make for an exciting video, won't it? I had more flowers on the table, but I had to move them. I think that one's okay. You can't see it, but this is big reaching flowers, big dried roses. Well, they're not actually dried. They're silk. And yeah, that candle was a little bit close to them, so too much excitement for this early in the morning. Okay, we have probably about 4 more minutes, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start. Since you're here and I'm here, let's just do this, right? Let's begin. I'm going to move my chair. I'm sorry for the noise, especially if you're listening with headphones on. I know that was bad. This is not one of those tap on things that didn't make any sound. There we go, tap on things video. Although those are cool. Okay, so here we go. I am going to start from the top, so just pretend like you didn't hear the rest of it, okay? So, hey everybody, I'm so glad that you're here today and that you can join me for this live stream. It's going to be, I hope, very informative as we chat about the lunar eclipse. Before we get into the details though, let me give you a heads up, we're still in Mercury retrograde. So let's prepare ourselves. And that has already happened because I didn't think I was going to be able to begin this live stream, and I left a message saying, it's not working. And then all of a sudden it let me go ahead. So yeah, thank you, Mercury. So just kind of expect the unexpected today, not just online, but anywhere, because, you know, Mercury. So I want to talk to you today a little bit about the eclipse, and then we'll break it down by each sign and what you can expect generally, and then also, like I said, what each sign could expect. So when we're talking about something big like the eclipse, you definitely want to check your moon, sun, and ascendant, because you want as much information as possible, to be honest. So here are the details. The lunar eclipse is going to be the full flower moon and is scheduled to take place on Friday, May the 5th at 11:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The eclipse is going to be in deep and mysterious Scorpio, and it might be a bit fainter than a regular eclipse and probably will not be visible over the US or most of Europe. So Google to see if it will be visible in your area. I think my Australian people, you're probably going to get to see it, but I'm not 100% sure. There will be another eclipse in October that will go across America, so don't worry if you can't see this one. You'll have your turn. I think it's either in October, or I know for sure there's going to be another one in 2024 that's going to be spectacular over America. But anyway, back to this eclipse. It's going to bring about some very serious energy, which will be both exciting and chaotic. So remember to avoid craft work during the eclipse, as it could boomerang into really odd and unpredicted ways. So I've been asked before, what about doing a ritual? Because a lot of people like to do rituals, release rituals or manifestation rituals during the time of the eclipse. And yes, totally. I would say do it before or do it after the actual eclipse is over. Don't do it during the time of the eclipse. And some of them can last, 4 hours even. So just check your local time and see what that translates for you. Do it before or do it after, just because the energy is really unpredictable. We don't really know how it's going to affect us. I mean, if you're doing a release ritual, you may end up calling to you what you're trying to release. So it's not worth, taking a chance on that. Okay, so this isn't the time also to sign contracts or make major changes, because yeah, we're still in Mercury, and also the unpredictable energy. The cosmos are really pushing us to embrace our true selves during this astral season. And that's kind of the theme for this year, is who are you authentically? When you show up as yourself, things work a lot better. But you have to get to the point where you know who you are authentically. So big theme with this eclipse and with all the astrology really this year is that who are you at your core, and are you living those values? Are you living that mindset, or are you hiding it or trying to minimize it so you can fit in? So yeah, that's a big theme. So this is the perfect time for personal growth, like it or not. Lunar eclipses are well known for exposing aspects of our lives that need to change and evolve for the better. So this energy is asking us to work through our past in order to open ourselves up to new possibilities and new adventures. So this can mean facing our fears and dealing with prior trauma now, today, immediately. Even though you may have said, I dealt with it already. I dealt with it. I don't know why this is coming up. And that is common. During an eclipse, and really any time, we can only heal as much as we can heal. So if something traumatic happened to you, let's say as a middle schooler, you still had to get up and go to school. You still had responsibilities. So you use the time you had to heal, but most everything related to the incident is probably still pushed down, and you're holding it internally. The same thing for adults. We have to get up and go to work. We have responsibilities. We have people we have to take care of. We have projects we're responsible for. You still have to pay your taxes. So it's not like we have a finite amount of time to heal. We can heal our entire lifetime and even beyond, but we don't have the ideal conditions, I guess I should say, to really work on our healing. It's not a big priority in today's society to fully heal something. So you heal just as much as you can at the time, and then you move forward. So it's not uncommon for situations from the past to come back up. Healing is more like a spiral rather than linear. So you may think that you've dealt with, say, something that happened traumatic, like I say, as a middle schooler, but then you may find yourself this week thinking about it. Like, what brought that on? Well, it's coming up so you can heal the next level of it. So rather than shrugging it off or pushing it away, sit with it. If you want to journal it and, write the story about what happened, that's fine. Or if you want to just meditate with it and look for the meaning behind it. And sometimes there is no meaning. Sometimes things just happen. But the other thing to be aware of is, how much did this experience affect the choices you made as an adult? Because that's the big clue. And with a Scorpio eclipse especially, we're looking at mysterious things from the past that are influencing us, or that are stopping us or blocking us from living the life we want to live. So yeah, it's deep stuff. And like I say, it's not uncommon for old trauma that we thought we healed to come back up during an eclipse. And we still carry those issues and they come back up to be healed further. I mean, it's just the way of healing. So the other thing is we're more capable now to do the healing work. So something that was traumatic when you were 12 or 13 may not be as traumatic now. I mean, that doesn't mean that you can just laugh it off, but you see it in a different light. So yeah, so be prepared for that. That sounds fun, right? So while the eclipse will impact, of course, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo will also be hit really hard with this eclipse. And I'll get to that in just a minute when we break it down by sign. So the lunar eclipse is something that it's not something as punishment. I think I talked about this a little bit in the last live stream when we were talking about the other eclipse. It's not a punishment. It's not a haha, we're going to make you face your fears and push you out of your comfort zone and punish you. No, that's not what it is. It is a chance to do the deep healing work that you need to do, that we all need to do, that we, for whatever reason, have not done. It is the stop that makes us stop and deal with it. And then once we're free of it and past this, we can go back to reevaluate our goals and see if they've changed now that we've healed these things, these traumas from the past that were stopping us. And it's not just trauma, it's also false belief. Whether you have a false belief about money, worthiness, about yourself, about the world, those things come up as well to be tested. So in other words, if you think money is the root of all evil, then you may be tested on that. You may be shown a lesson where you realize that you're thinking these things about money, and that is what's stopping you from attracting it. And I see this quite often in folks. They're trying desperately to attract a certain amount of money, and it just won't happen. They're doing everything right, but it won't happen. But when you start talking about it, you realize they think that wealth is evil, and they do not want to be evil. So of course they're going to push it away. And that is an old core belief. And we pick a lot of these up as children. So once the good news is, once you talk about this and find this belief, it just almost evaporates instantly and you're free from it. The bad news is you have to find it and you have to talk about it. So yeah, but this is a time when we have the capabilities to heal. So even though it may not sound really fun, we can handle it a lot better now than we could at other times. So you got this. Don't worry, you really do. Okay, so what I'm about to talk about is by sign, and I want to tell you that this is, of course, my take on the astrology and the energy, and because of that, it may not resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, no worries, just pass this video on by, and I hope you find what you're looking for, because, as I said, this is my take on it. So let's start with Aries. Well, Aries is still somewhat out of balance and reeling from last month's eclipse. So this eclipse could leave you feeling uncertain of your relationships and your career. And you may be second guessing yourself and going over minute details, trying to second guess yourself about whether you made the right decisions. And you may also be reevaluating what your ideas about a stable, healthy relationship look like, or what a healthy work-life balance looks like. And this is good because it's changing and expanding as you define your future goals. So this is actually a very good thing, Aries, although it can leave you feeling less confident than normal. And generally, Aries natives are very confident. So when their confidence is shook, they are shook. So if you're feeling kind of off or whatever, less than, this is probably what it is. So just take some time and process this. Be kinder to yourself. Give yourself the time you need to work through it. You can talk to somebody that you trust about it or journal it out to get a better idea of kind of what's going on internally. But it'll be an easier time than last eclipse. For Taurus, you've been thinking a lot about the people from your past and how they define you. Your life today doesn't look at all what you thought it would be like when you were a child. But this isn't really a bad thing either. So in the light of all this soul searching, you may feel compelled to focus on the needs of those you care about so you can build stronger relationships. Take time to be there for those who may be struggling and provide them with the support they need. Listen without judgment and offer support. Allow yourself the time to process this energy on a personal level. Journal what comes from the past and try to understand how it impacts your decisions. You haven't made a wrong turn or a wrong move. You're just looking at your goals and redefining them, Taurus. So it's easy for us as teenagers or even in our early 20s to have an idea of what we think our life should be and where we should be at certain stages of our life. You know, at 25 we're going to do this, and at 30 we're going to do that. But in reality, life doesn't work that way. Things happen when they're supposed to, and there is no general guide of, you know, you should be married at a certain age, have children at a certain age, be successful at your career at a certain age. No, those are suggestions or maybe ideals from your society, but they're not actually true. We're not all shaped from the same cookie cutter, and that's okay. How boring would that be? So give yourself some credit, Taurus. You've come a long way, and things are starting to really settle down in your life now. So just take the time you need to really process this energy. Gemini, be cautious during this period as accidents can occur. And I really hate to even say that because that has a tendency to manifest, and it also has a tendency to freak people out. So when I say that, I don't mean car wreck, train wreck. I just mean something like breaking your favorite coffee cup, dropping your phone and cracking the screen, things like that. Losing your car keys, you'll find them, but it'll be, you know, a day of searching frantically. So it's those types of accidents. So take your time and avoid rushing through projects too, as this is a time when you could forget important details, you know, lose the last paper of a proposal, something like that, where it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a silly mistake, but it's a mistake that could ruin the project. So you need to be really careful. Also, be careful what you're putting online. You could write something that makes total sense to you, but when you hit post, it doesn't quite read the way it did in your mind. So just check and double check. And if you're still wondering, have somebody else proofread it for you. So I think that this is also the time when you need to stop making overcommitments to Gemini. You've been really busy lately. Pardon me. Let me clear that for you. You've been really busy and kind of neglecting some of your home tasks because you have been helping other people out and you've had social engagements and you just have a lot going on. So this is a time to slow down and to recharge your battery. Refrain from signing contracts or making any big deals, but if there's no way around it, be sure to double check all details and contracts to prevent any unforeseen issues. Purchase extended warranties and insurance, especially for anything related to electronics or travel. And a lot of people are traveling right now or will be traveling very soon. Pardon me just a second. I'm going to take a drink of water, talk among yourselves. Okay. So, Cancer. Cancer, this is a great time to retire to your safe place and work through some of the revelations that have come to the surface. A deep healing is taking place for you, but you still need time to process your feelings. Give yourself the space and time you need and don't push yourself so much. Healing happens at its own pace, which is basically what I said earlier. For Cancer in particular, you're looking over some of the decisions you've made, some of the people you've been with, some of the priorities that you've had in the past, and they don't fit you anymore. And that's okay. You're growing and you're evolving. It's a new you. And that's what it should be. We continuously grow and change. So don't try and force yourself to be this older version. Give yourself space to process this new energy, your new taste, your new likes and dislikes, and allow yourself what you need to be that new person. And you'll be a lot happier. Overall, this is not going to be too bad for Cancer. The last eclipse was much, much worse. For Leo, yeah. The eclipse takes place in our 4th house of home and family life. So this is a big push for us to change our living arrangements. So moving or upscaling or maybe just throwing stuff away and redoing the house. We're kind of overwhelmed right now. Most all Leos are. because so many other things are happening. A lot of Leos are having health crises right now too on top of this. So we've got the health issues going on, we've got moving going on. And the thing with Leo is it's a fixed sign, and I can say this because I'm a Leo too. Um, Even when we want change, we don't want change. Even when we know it's exactly what we need, we don't want it. So it's really difficult for us to make big life changes. Leos usually have classic cars, and I think it's because they like to hold on to things. But in general, this is a time when we need to just step out of our own way. We're overwhelmed and we're stressed right now about the prospect of this big move or this big life change. And you may be moving across the country or to another country right now, Leo, and it's causing a lot of stress. But this change will allow new opportunities and more chances for success. So, as tough as it's going to be, we got to embrace the change and we just got to push through it. If you are having health concerns, be vigilant and make sure you get the care you need. That's the other key is right now, especially while we're in Mercury, chances are a hospital or a doctor visit may be changed or pushed back. So you need to be your own advocate, or if you have a loved one who is needing to get tests done or things like that, you need to be the advocate and make sure that they don't wait too long to do the testing. So, yeah, Leo, it's all about change and you don't like it, but that in itself is a lesson. So, Virgo, you may receive a lot of information and communications during this time, including messages from old friends and flames. Take time to appreciate these messages and understand their meaning. Then, if you want to reconnect, go ahead, but just be aware that there's a reason these people are in your past. So, Virgo, you've been working really diligently on getting your life in order, and you've made a lot of advances. Your life is not where you want it to be, no. But like I say, you've done a lot of work and you are moving forward. These people represent the past. If you need closure or there's something, that you need to maybe experience with these people, then yeah, sure. But just be aware that they probably haven't evolved as much as you. So they're probably going to be right where they were when you ended your relationship with them. And this could also be people, friends from the past that you just kind of drifted away from. There's nothing wrong with rekindling that, but also don't expect them to be any different than they were from the past. So, okay, Scorpio. When the eclipse is happening in your own sign, it means that you are reaching a personal milestone. And while this can be exciting, yeah, it can also be very frightening. And now the spotlight of the eclipse is focused on you. And Scorpio, you're probably not having it. You're not in the mood for it, and you have too much going on to even think about it. But you're being pushed out of your comfort zone as changes are happening at a rapid rate now. You may be seeing financial changes, marital changes, career changes, the whole gambit. This eclipse is aimed at revealing the truth for you, and emotions may run high during this time as the universe pushes you towards this growth. There are some things that you need to realize about yourself, but also the people around you. And perhaps these go back to old core beliefs that don't actually fit you anymore, things that maybe you've taken on as a child to identify with, or a label such as you're always late or you're not good with money, those types of labels, which if you don't want that in your life, now is the time to release it and no longer be burdened with these things. So remember to take things at your own pace and avoid making impulsive decisions, Scorpio. This energy will likely continue to affect you for the next 6 months. So the rest of the year is going to be all about Scorpio's personal healing. How exciting. Yeah, and how daunting. But you can do it because you're at a better place in your own life right now where you're more likely to have the space and to have the tools to push through this. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Pardon me. Okay, Sagittarius. Sag, you really aren't going to be affected much by this eclipse, so it's just going to be another day for you. It would probably be wise to take some time for yourself and reconnect with your inner self. Consider disconnecting from tech and finding peace in solitude. Avoid other people's drama and instead connect with old friends and relax and just you know, make some popcorn and watch all this drama unfold around you. But like I say, it's really not going to impact you at all because you've been going through trials and tribulations for the last 4 years. So this is nothing. But things are changing dramatically for Sag too. Very soon it's going to be your time to shine. So rest and relax. Capricorn, money and work is a bit up and down now, and you're feeling stressed. Plus, you're feeling left out by your supposed close friends. It may be time to set boundaries and protect your energy in regard to these people. Consider having an honest conversation to resolve any issues and relax about the money. Long term success is assured. And I do write these up, I write these notes up when I plan a video because this is a lot to remember, to be quite honest. Um, I think that Capricorn, yeah, you've been working hard and you finally started seeing some success. It's not as much success as you would like, but you know that you're on the road to bigger and better things. But you're very diligent and you're very focused. And now you've got these new people in your life, and they look like they were going to be an asset. They look like they were going to be fun people to hang out with and to have as friends. And now it seems like they're ditching you and doing things without you. And it's kind of like, what the? So maybe you need to just talk to them and tell them how you feel and work it out. And if they don't see that there's a problem, it may be time to just, let them go because they're not the right people. You will find your tribe very soon, though, Capricorn. Okay, I've got to drink another drink of water here. You can drink some water too, yeah? Okay. Excuse me. Aquarius. You also will definitely feel the impact of this eclipse because it takes place in your 10th house of career. It could lead to you trying something completely different at work because guess what? You pretty much had it at work, yeah? Yeah. And finding balance between work and your personal life can be really challenging on a good day, and now you're overwhelmed and stressed, and if you don't set boundaries, work will take over completely. So you may feel like you have too many responsibilities and too much time in the day. Make sure to prioritize time for yourself and your loved ones to maintain a peaceful center, or you could fall ill or miss important deadlines. Right now, the image of Aquarius is the person juggling plates in the air and then throwing a chainsaw and a chair because you have so much going on, Aquarius. Some things you're really excited about and you really want to do. Other things are just chores that are just almost impossible to get through because you don't have the energy for all this added responsibility. This won't be forever, but it will continue for a while. So it's time to set those boundaries and be really clear on how much time you're going to devote to work and to other people's problems and to other people's drama. Aquarius is one of the signs that is known for being quirky and very innovative. But what they don't talk about is Aquarius has a really big heart. And if they can help, they will. So you may find lately that you're being taken advantage of by people that know this about you, and they just keep laying more and more stuff on your plate. So set those boundaries and stick to them, and things will get easier. But this eclipse will definitely highlight what's wrong with work. And if you can't mitigate some changes, it's time to think about going elsewhere. So good luck with that, Aquarius. And that takes us to Pisces. Pisces natives, don't stress out if you don't understand everything at the moment. Be patient and remember that the truth will always come to light. Trust in the process and allow yourself to receive the answers you seek. Don't judge the situation until you have all the information. So a lot of things are happening on so many levels in Pisces life. You've got your friends, you've got your family, you've got your tribe, you've got work, you're probably moving, or somebody else in your life is moving. So all these other responsibilities with other people, and then you've got the ideal stuff that you want to be doing, the people you want to be hanging out with, the experiences you want to be having. And you've also got people kind of creating drama in the background. So it's a lot. It's a whole lot. But before you make a decision about cutting somebody out of your life or quitting a project, you need to make sure you have all the information, because someone could be diluting the facts. We'll not say lying, we'll say diluting the facts, okay? And this information is likely to come to light during this eclipse. So probably by the end of the week, well, that's Friday, probably by the end of next week, let's give it that long, you're likely to know exactly what's happening and why. So just hang in there and don't judge a situation too quickly, Pisces. So all of us can expect this energy to linger for up to 6 months. So we're all being asked to confront our past so we can welcome new adventure into our lives. And this might mean facing some fears or dealing with the past trauma or past situations that were uncomfortable. And as I said, something that happened to you when you were 10 or 11 may not be as uncomfortable now as an adult as it was then. So it's time to kind of deal with that and also realize how much that incident has impacted you and your decision-making process. But trust me, it's all part of the larger healing process, and you can do it. You are capable now and you have the tools. Also, we're being, as I said earlier, pushed to accept our true selves. No more hiding who you are. Be you and face life with a more authentic viewpoint, and things will flow so much smoother. So that is the end of the zodiac. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, let me know, and I'll pull a few cards and we'll chat for a little bit. Okay. How about I just pull some cards and we see what we get? Okay. So, what is a tool we can use to make it through this eclipse in an easier, gentle way? Surrender to the divine. Wasn't that right on topic? So, yeah, we need to just surrender to it because we can't fight it. That's the thing with an eclipse. You can't fight it. You can't deny it. You can't hide from it. You can't run from it. It's going to happen. So, you can pick when it's going to happen, but if you don't pick, then it's going to happen when it wants to, which means you may have a crying fit at work, while you're driving home, on the train, in the shower. So best to put it on the calendar that you're going to deal with some of the stuff from the past. And most of us know what we're carrying. I mean, there are some things, of course, that are hidden completely, but most of us know something. And generally with this one, it's childhood stuff. So it could be somebody hurt your feelings really bad in, say, when you were 10. And you may be able to look at it now as an adult and go, well, that was just kids being childish. But you're still carrying that pain. So it's something you need to work through. Oh, got a question. How do I know what it is I'm supposed to let go of since my life was flipped upside down last Scorpio? Okay, how do you know what you're supposed to let go of? That's a good question. Madam Kate, what do you let go of? I would say, without pulling a card, everything. All the preconceived ideas of who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, who you're supposed to be with, all of it. All of it. Let go of all of it and become this new, better version of yourself who is authentic in the fact of you decide, as opposed to letting society or the people around you decide who you are. But let's see what the cards say. Be bold and make the first move. So, what do you think that you need to let go of? What is the first thing that comes to mind when you close your eyes, put your dominant hand on your heart, and say, what do I need to let go of? What happens? What's the first thing that comes through? That's a big clue. But yeah, I would say pretty much anything that's holding you back. And that's probably preconceived ideas. For a lot of us, that can be gender specific, or it could be something where we think that, we should be, as I said earlier, successful at a certain age or married at a certain age or something like that. But you don't have to heal all of it overnight either. So relax. But I would begin. I would begin by, what's the most important thing that you see that you need to release? And then start with that. How do you go about releasing it? How do you go about healing it and letting it go? Generally, It is facing it and looking at it both emotionally and detached. Let's say that as a child, someone made fun of you and bullied you. It's horrible. It is horrible. So you look at it as an adult and maybe you can see it. Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Deep breath. Yes. So as an adult, you can look at it and say, okay, this is childhood bullying, and it's not fair, and it's not right, and it should not have happened. But you can also have compassion because you don't know what the other child was going through. But you can also release it because it's no longer happening to you. You're no longer that child feeling it. While you do have the scars from it, you're not that person being bullied at this moment. And that is just really quick and off the top of my head. And yeah, you probably need a lot more. But okay, does anybody else have a question? That was a good one though. So let's see. What should we avoid doing during this time? Show the world the real you. Oh, that's interesting, because that's what I was saying, is show everybody who you are and be authentic. So, what do you think that means? I would read that as maybe don't show everybody the pain you're going through until you process it and get on the other side of it. Talk to a trusted friend. Talk to somebody that, whether that's a therapist or a friend, the family member, somebody that you trust with the situation, but maybe don't just tell the world at large. Don't go to work and tell everybody, hey, I'm processing childhood trauma. Leave me the hell alone. I mean, yeah, that's probably not conducive to a good way of healing. So, okay. Oh, gosh, somebody just texted me. Just texted me and didn't leave it here. They want to know how this is going to affect romance. Okay. Well, obviously it depends on what sign you are, but let's just see. How is this energy going to affect romance in general? A time for healing. Okay. So I would say yes, it's going to work on healing your romantic life, probably your ideas about romance. It's gonna, yeah. I mean, we grow up seeing things both from our caregivers or parents and also from TV, cinema, music, books about what romance is, what life is, being, partnered. We have all these preconceived ideas, everything from Disney movies to songs. So all of this stuff impacts us. And the older we get, the more we realize we may not be having that type of relationship, and we may start to examine that. Why aren't our relationships turning out like a fairy tale? Well, because they're fairy tales for a reason. They're teaching stories. They're not so much something to try and live up to, or so it may be time to go deeper into that and look at, maybe you're expecting more from your partner or maybe from the relationship than is healthy. It's not uncommon. Okay. Good question. Yeah. It's not uncommon for people to get into relationships and expect the other person to make them happy. But here's a big secret. If you're not happy when you get into the relationship will not solve your problems. It could actually lead to more problems because you will bring your unhappiness and your baggage and your trauma into the relationship. That's why it's so important for us to heal. Anybody else have a question? I'm going to take another drink of water. I'm not really sure why I'm announcing it before I do it, but yeah. Okay, I can hear you breathing. I know you're there. Okay. Who else? Somebody just left when I said that. Okay. Okay, let's do, this is the romance or the love deck. So let's see if we can get some more insight about relationships and love during this period. Perceive with the eyes of love. Oh, this is going to be a good one. If you have the eyes of love, there you go, I think you can see it better now. If you have the eyes of love, you see love wherever you go. The trees are made with love. The animals are made with love. Everything is made with love. When you perceive with the eyes of love, you see God everywhere. So that was really deep, wasn't it? So, so not so much about romantic love, but love, unconditional love, love of life, love of spirit. That would be amazing if we could tap into that higher energy during this time. And maybe we should all aspire to do that. Yeah, to see everything made with love. That's how we tap into the higher energy of bliss, too, of seeing and witnessing the miracles that are all around us. Okay, I'll draw a Ascended Master card for us to work with during the eclipse. Who would be a good Ascended Master, okay, to call on during the eclipse? We had several jump out. They did not jump. King Solomon. Okay. Okay. So we have the female energy, we have priorities, and we have listen. So if you think of it this way, the female energy, which is generally more receptive and nurturing, time to nurture yourself, time to look at your priorities. Yeah. What is really important to you, and is it something having to do with something from childhood or some trauma? And if it is, we need to heal it. But to do this, we need to listen. We need to listen to ourselves, listen to that inner part of us that also is trying to tell us and signal us all the time that this is going on, you know? Generally, I would say talk to somebody that knows you and ask them. So, do you think that something from the past is, holding me back? And if they know you well, and they should, right? They should be able to tell you what it is. Because most of us do know, we can see it in other people, but it's just really difficult sometimes to see it in ourselves. But yeah. But I would listen to your inner dialogue, listen to your inner thoughts as well. What are you ruminating on? What are you worrying about? What is keeping you up at night? And is it something, a fear or a worry that is tied to childhood? And it probably is. And then that's the big clue to make it a priority and to heal it. So you can call on any of these Ascended Masters to help you as well. So, any more questions? This deck came from the Mastery of Love, the Toltec Wisdom deck from Don Miguel Ruiz. Oh, love has been my word of the day. Been seeing it all morning. I love that. Oh, awesome, awesome. Yeah, love is, that's nice that you have a word of the day. That's really good. We should probably all do that and do a positive word every day. That's good. It's a good idea. Yeah, this is this deck. It's 48 cards, and they're a little bit different. Like this one. Love is responsible for its actions, which is nice. Accept your divinity. Love others without condition. So yeah, it's nice, but it's a little bit different. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it. We've been here for 43 minutes already. Can you believe it? So I hope you enjoy the eclipse as much as you can. Yeah, you are capable of the healing now more so than ever. So I don't want this to be all doom and gloom and like, oh God, it's going to be horrible. No. You can handle it. That's the thing. You can handle it now better than ever. So the big message was we can't hide from it. We can't run from it. We might as well face it. Face it. Do what you need to do. Spend some time with it. Sit with it. Heal it. And then be free from it. There's a quote, the only way past is through, and I think it sums up this eclipse. The only way past it is to go through it. So work on it, give yourself time to process it, and don't be so hard on yourself. Be kinder to yourself, and you will get through this. No problem at all. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I want to thank the patrons who make this and all the videos possible. If you like this type of content, why not consider becoming a patron? You can go to the link below for Patreon, or you can join the community here. I have 2 different things going and they get different perks. So Patreon gets more stuff like long distance Reiki and that type of things, where the community gets to see videos that come out prior to they come out quicker, I guess I'm trying to say, earlier release, and also they get different videos too. I'm also on Recast too, but that's another story. Those are different videos as well. So Recast TV, if you want to go check that out. And yeah, and I'm working on a podcast. I talked to you, I think, in the Taurus video, maybe, about that, about, do you think we should turn some of these videos into a podcast? And I've gotten a little bit of feedback, yes, and a little bit of no, because you're listening to it anyway. So why take the effort to, change it up? So what do you think? Should we turn these into a podcast? Let me know in the comment section. And anyway, getting back on track. Thank you guys for your continued support. I'm here because of you. I'm here because I really enjoy the community, and I really enjoy meeting everyone and sharing thoughts on astrology and energy and just hanging out. So thank you for being part of this community with me and walking this healing journey with me. Okay, I'll speak to you soon. Reiki blessings. Bye-bye.